Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a 20-year-old amazing woman from Arizona who first made a big splash in the Southwestern music scene with the release of her patriotic song, Red, White, and Blue. Please welcome Ashley Wineland. Hello, Ashley.
Hi,
How are you?
I am doing really good today, and I hope you're the same.
Oh, yes, very, very much so. Okay, so let's first talk about Red, White, and Blue, and then I'm going to let you tell me your story. I've listened to Red, White, and Blue. I can't even tell you how many times. I'm Canadian, but it still touched me. You're honoring the men and women serving in the United States Armed Forces.
Yes, so believe it or not, Red, White, and Blue is actually the very first song that I ever wrote. And, when I was working with my mentor, Brian Cuban, he's said to me, the first song that you write should always be something that's extremely important to you and something that you can carry with you throughout the rest of your career. And so when I really got to thinking about, what meant a lot to me. Of course, our military came to mind. I come from an extensive family who has served in our armed forces for many generations. So that was something that hit really close to home. And, as someone who also knows a lot of really incredible individuals who, are currently serving right now or have, been a part of families of members who've served and stuff, I really wanted to do something to really highlight their sacrifices. And so the unique thing about Red, White, and Blue is that since we released that song, which was years ago, but we still do it to this day, any money that I make off of digital downloads and things like that go straight back to charities who help out our veterans and their families, like Stop Soldier Suicide, Pets for Patriots, who teams up adult shelter animals with veteran families and stuff and helps pay for vet bills and all that fun stuff. So I like to give back with that any way, shape, or form that I can.
That is amazing. That is so awesome. And I love and it whether you're singing or performing, you're raising money to help veterans or donating your time to animal welfare organizations or other worthy causes. Now let's start right from the beginning. You're from Glendale, Arizona. And I don't know how old you started, but your father, for your 13th birthday, bought you such a unique gift. And that was studio recording time. So tell me your story from then right up to now, because you've been very busy.
Yeah, really though. No, that was really kind of the spark that started the fire, or the push that shoved the snowball down the hill, however you like to look at it. Because up until then, I'd always had a love for performing, and of course, like I had started my music education at like 9, just through the school program and whatnot. But up until then, I was really just doing like competitive figure skating and stuff. So when I was starting to explore kind of more musical options and whatnot, my dad thought, well, it would be really cool just to have that experience and stuff and just see how you like it. And so I went in and actually I cut like a little like 4-song cover song like demo CD with my time in there, and it was just like that was addicting. It was just something about the environment and being able to work in there that was just so extremely cool to me. And actually, from there is how I met my mentor through a family friend, and they gave him my demo CD, and he called me up, and he's like, "I'd love to work with you," and whatnot. And that was really, where things started to hustle and bustle, because then Brian, showed me what it was like to work in a studio on your own type of project, your own personal project, and writing songs, and how to put a band together, and just really all the behind the scenes and kind of more businessy aspects of what it meant to do singing as a career. And then from there, it's just been truly a family effort. I'm so extremely grateful for the family that I have around me, and just the small team of people I work with, because they're just incredible individuals, and they help me, over these past years just really chip away at my goals. And I've been really lucky these past years to have gone on national tours and put out a new album, which is conveniently titled Simple Life, which I know we'll be talking about
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit today. And,
Mm-hmm.
just really accomplishing so much in what really, in the long run, is, a short amount of time. So that's kind of the whole creation story in a nutshell.
Well, I think it's great that your dad did that, and what a way to kick off your career. Now, your debut CD, Family Business, featured original compositions, and it got a lot of attention. It was being played on radio stations worldwide, and it also, like, it kind of paved the way to where you are now with your new CD coming out and everything. Well, it's already come out. Now, your live performances, and we talked about this before the interview, you are so energetic and you're so tiny. And they say big things come in small packages, and it's very true because you're tiny, but man, do you move on that stage. And so not only are you storytelling with your songs and singing, you're also entertaining. And that's not a you're the whole package. And sometimes there could be a great singer, but you get them on stage and they just kind of stand there, or they're not great on singing, but you put them on the stage and they're just crazy. um but you, like I said, you're the entire package. You do everything, and you're so, like they say, the reason Garth Brooks has so many amazing fans is because he makes everybody feel like they're his best friends in the audience. And you do the same thing. You're very open, you're smiling, you're talking, you're there. And I just love watching you perform. Like, I could watch you perform day after day after day, just so you know.
Oh, well, thank you very much. No, that is a really major compliment, and it's something that, I really do work extensively on to incorporate. Because, for me, live performances is where everything comes together. The time you put in the studio, the work you've put in with your band and honing, your skills technically, and then, of course, the performance elements as well. And what I really love about it is, with a live performance, because I do like to move around so much, I'm able to convey more of the message and emotions in the song with body language and stuff. There's not, you can't see somebody's facial expressions through an audio recording. So to be able to combine, the little elements, from the audio perspective and then from the visual perspective, and be able to merge them together. And then also at the same time have that, face to face, in person interaction with the audience and stuff really just makes the live shows just so incredibly special. And, I always strive so hard to just craft, a really strong show that's high energy, but also has those, emotional moments as well.
Yeah, and you do it well. I mean, seriously, you do it well. You're just engaging. Like I said, I could watch you constantly. Now, you were named the very first Alvarez Breakthrough Artist, and recently you were upgraded to Pro Artist. Now, Corral Boots soon followed, and recently Peter Grimm Hats added you to their brand's celebrity spokespeople, which explains the amazing boots and hats that you. So that is cool. I mean, and I know they've helped out other people, or they've even had endorsements from other spokespersons. Josh Turner was one of them. So you're in good company. Now, you also became a frequent guest on television and radio shows, and you're also in print media. You graced the cover of the global music publication Ion Indie magazine in December of 2014, and you've also appeared inside a featured article, and additionally captured the cover of City to Country magazine in 2016. And you've done, you are busy. Like, you're 20 years old and you've just done so many things. Now, you're a favorite on the festival circuit. You've appeared at Ostrich Festival, they also support Paramali, I can't talk now, Road to Country Thunder, and West Valley Fair and Music Festival, who has also supported John Michael Montgomery. Now, recently, you appeared in both Arizona for the West Valley Fair and Music Festival, and Texas for the Sun City Fair, supporting, and we talked about this because they're one of my favorite bands, and Beautiful Mess is one of my favorite songs. If nobody knows who I'm talking about yet, they will. You've worked with Diamond Rio, the Grammy Award-winning band Diamond Rio.
Yeah, no, and talk about, just really cool experiences. If anybody ever has the chance to go watch them live, I definitely recommend it. It's just their technicality is just so tight, and the harmonies like just blow you away. So it was definitely a really big honor to open up for all those people that you mentioned. Just anytime you get to work alongside artists of that caliber and whatnot, it's always very humbling, and there's always new things to be learned from them as well, and just admiring their craft.
Well, John Michael Montgomery would be, I haven't seen him live, but his song was actually my wedding song. And yeah,
Aww.
yeah. So I mean, you've worked with amazing people, but Diamond Rio, I think Diamond Rio has a special place in everybody's hearts because they've kicked out so many hits and their music
Oh.
hits you. So to be able to be on the same stage or even opening with them, whatever the case may be, I mean, just to be in the same room with them would be mind blowing. I mean, do they give you advice? Do you talk to them? Do they talk about, what you should do or give you, tips?
It depends on the day, and just kind of the way the festival and stuff's flowing. I do always have the pleasure of meeting the people that I'm opening for, which is really cool. So just be able to chit chat, and I mean, most of the time we just kind of end up talking about the day and just kind of what we're all up to and stuff. And
Hmm.
the biggest thing that I think universally anyone will tell you if they've been in the industry long enough is if you really want to make something happen is to just persevere and just keep trucking through, because I mean, regardless, life in general likes to throw us a lot of curveballs and things that are hard to handle, and that can be discouraging at times. But in order to make any sort of progress in anything in life, really, but especially entertainment, you just have to be strong, and just keep bear in mind that good things are always around the corner, even if they seem farther away than they really are, and just trek on.
That's great. That's great to live by. Now, also, okay, I'm still stuck on how busy you are. You also headlined at legendary country venue Rio Palm Isle in Longville, Texas. Now, some of the people that have performed there are icons. Elvis Presley, Willie Nelson, Miranda Lambert, and a whole bunch of others. Now, I'm also a huge Miranda Lambert fan, and that's actually, you remind me of her a little bit when you're on stage, just so you know. Um, so you've performed all over the place with amazing people, and I mean, you've graced the stages where other icons have graced. And I can see people, in about 20 years saying, "Yeah, I played on the same stage as Ashley Wineland," because you are talented, and I can see you going so far. I mean, you've already come so far. It's just crazy. Now, No Prince Charming is another one of my favorite songs of yours, and you filmed it in Arizona with the Superstition Mountains behind you. What was that like to do that at home?
Oh goodness. Well, one of my favorite things to do is to always, film the music videos at home. There's so many beautiful and diverse locations out here in Arizona. Everybody thinks, we're just a big cactus and a lot of dirt. So, but believe it or not, there's a lot of really diverse ecosystems and whatnot. So being able to, film, especially the No Prince Charming music video, which was quite the production, let me tell you, out out in Apache Junction next to the Superstitions and stuff. It was a gorgeous backdrop. We spent like a whole weekend out there, and pulling like 20-hour days. It was crazy, the level of production that went into that, but it was so much fun. The whole, really kind of like the whole town got involved. We shot primarily at the Hitching Post, which is a really incredible restaurant that's out there. And they allowed us to, use the stage, and they had like bull riding that they do, and they let us, play off of that and just the surrounding areas and stuff. And it was just so much fun. Live got to work with horses and whatnot, which anytime you throw animals into the production of anything, it's always interesting, because they, for the most part, do what they want.
Yeah, I can
They
imagine.
they'll take your suggestions, but if something else has caught their attention, there's, um, you know, you're losing precious time, and there's just nothing you can do about it. But no, we had such a wonderful time with that music video. Just a really great cast and production team, and it's honestly some of my most fond memories come from that shoot. So it was really wonderful.
Yeah, and like I said, I love the song, and it's basically a tale of good cowboy versus bad cowboy, and your fans loved it. Like it debuted at number 2 on iTunes in the category of best new country music. Yeah,
Oh,
amazing. And
yeah,
I
that was
love the
I
song.
blew me away. I mean, obviously the response to the music video was incredible and stuff, but then to like have that, and I didn't even know about it until my publicist actually found out, and she called me and she's like, "Did you know that No Prince Charming's number 2 on iTunes right now for new country releases?" And I was like, "What?" Just the amount of support that everybody gave that song is just so it still blows me away to this day, and it's also part of the reason, like, anytime you see me live, whether that be on a broadcast or at a show, it always gets played, always.
Well, it's a great song, and it's a great song, and so I can't. It's not surprising to me at all that it debuted number 2 and that your fans loved it because, like I said, it's a great song. Now, your 2017 CD is out. It's called Simple Life. Now, it's spawned your hits "She's Gone," which inspired your 2017 national tour. Where are you going now? You've just released how many songs now have you released off of this CD?
Um, well, so with this CD, we did something interesting where we took a couple of the songs off of my first project, Family Business, and they we actually went and like remastered them and did some tweaking. So if you have the first album, to anybody who's listening, and you listen to that one compared to some of the tracks that are on Simple Life that we pulled off of there, they sound different. And just what we wanted to do was just to show the growth and maturity um, in my stylization and my voice and stuff. Because I mean, when I recorded Family Business, I was 14.
Yeah.
So that jump between then and now, we wanted to kind of showcase that. But then there's brand new tracks off there. There's actually 2 off of the album, which are National Disaster and Bring on the Rain, that haven't been digitally released yet.
Okay.
So those are still, little, I call them my little gems. So for those who actually go on my website and buy the album, that's the only way you can get them right now. But off of that, we have Simple Life and She's Gone are the 2, brand spanking new singles. And then, of course, it has No Prince Charming because it needed a home. It hadn't been on an album. So we put No Prince Charming on there, and then Family Business and Red, White, and Blue are on the album as well.
Okay, and I'm urging everybody to go to your website. It's going to be on my website. Everybody will be able to click on the link and go right over there. Now, you're branded as an official CMT artist and now national recording and touring artist. And you're looking forward to having your music reach a larger audience and growing your fan base. Your fan base is ridiculous, by the way. You have so many fans.
I'm just so extremely blessed to have the community of fans that I do. And it truly is such a community feeling. I always strive to make everybody feel like, if they're going to come onto my social pages, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, anything like that, I want them to know that, it's a safe community for them to share in the love of country music and our mutual love for whatever activities that I'm doing and sharing with everybody. And, it's just, I love to make it just a happy place. And everybody, who is a fan of mine does also just a really great job of making sure that everything in the comment section and whatnot stays a really positive environment. And it's created such a really tight knit unit of fans. It makes me so happy because when I do like my live broadcast that I do every week on Facebook and stuff, I see fans of mine, start talking to one another and they become friends, through these broadcasts and stuff like that. And there's just no cooler feeling than knowing that the work that you're doing and seeing it firsthand is really bringing people together.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. And it's amazing how supportive they are. And I've gone onto your Facebook. I've watched, like, I've seen, a lot of the comments and stuff, and they're very, very positive, and they love you. They absolutely adore you. Now you kicked off your tour in March of 2018, right?
Yes.
Now talk about that because it's your your next tour. And I mean, your tours are crazy to begin with because you're so energetic. So how is it going so far?
It's going really great. Simple Life released as a single March 1st, and we kicked off the tour that weekend in California at the Old Crow Smokehouses. And then from there, I mean, we've gone coast to coast. We, this, for our spring, which, if we're being honest, ended up just being like winter part two with how cold it was everywhere we went. Um, was really great. We went from like California, through the country to North Carolina, and then we went up north and we were in like Wyoming and Nebraska and all that crazy stuff. So we traveled quite a bit to a bunch of new states for this run so far, which has been incredible. And so actually, you're my first interview actually sitting at home since we kicked off the tour. We're taking a little couple week hiatus just to kind of recalibrate ourselves, let everybody breathe and, kind of reset. And we actually jumped back onto the touring route come June 1st, and we'll be, doing the same thing, going pretty much coast to coast and all that fun stuff. So I'm just excited. We're going into a bunch of new states, which means I'm able to go see more of my fans and meet new people and share my music with everybody. And that's just, a major blessing
Yeah.
in itself.
That would be. And if I could, oh, I would love to see you live. I'm just saying. Now, I just want to talk about too, you attained your first IMDb credit for the dramatic series Youthful Ambition, directed by Terrence Gordon. What was that about?
Oh my goodness! So that was actually so much fun. Most people don't know about me. I've always had this like bug to like act. I've always wanted to like try my hand at it. Because I just have such a strong like love for that sort of art. And so when the opportunity presented itself, because Youthful Ambition, the whole point is it's a Minnesota series where the episodes aren't really related, but they kind of showcase off, a young person going through something in their lives and having to overcome it in order to obtain, their goals and their dream life, basically. And so Terrence came to me and he said, I'd love to work with you on doing this series. I mean, obviously, it's slightly, and when I say slightly, I mean slightly, very slightly based on like my actual life, but of course with a really dramatic flair with it. So we filmed the episode actually last year. The show's still in production right now, but we filmed it last year in North Carolina, and I got to try my hand at acting. And let me tell you, that episode, I got to go through a whole range of emotions. I got to be like extremely angry and really sad, and just the whole spectrum of feelings, and just being able to explore that and kind of get the feel of what it was like to be on a set for a show and just really try my hand at it. It was something I loved to death, and I hope to have more opportunities to go and explore that.
That is cool. I hope so too. Because, like I said, how you are on stage, because you're so open, I think you would do really well. And so hopefully I see you not just, a live performance, I see you on the big screen at some point as well. Now, I also wanted to touch on, you've appeared at Seacrest Studios in support of Ryan Seacrest Foundation. And what that is performing for the young patients at Children's Hospital. So I want to say, like, hats off to you for doing that. And
well, thank you.
do you meet actually Ryan Seacrest, or it's just under his foundation that you go and perform?
No, so unfortunately, when I was there, I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him. He has a couple of different units in different states at different children's hospitals. But I did have the pleasure of meeting just some really incredible kids. And what's really cool about it is I was at the one that was at the Levine's Children's Center in North Carolina. And Meredith, who runs it, is just absolutely incredible. And they have, a kids host come in, one of the patients comes down, and all the kids are invited if they're able to come down into the room while we're in there. and hang out with us. And it's so much fun. We get to play like trivia games. When I was there, we did like Disney trivia. And what's nice about it is there's cameras and they broadcast it into all the kids' rooms.
Oh,
So they can
nice.
tune in and they can call in and play games with us. And of course, we do live performances. And something that was really special that not everybody gets to do when they're there, but we had the honor of doing was being able to go up onto the floors and actually go into some of the kids' rooms who weren't able to make it down and play music for them and talk to them. And just, I've met so many incredible kids while I was there who are going through things that, you know, you and I couldn't even imagine going through.
Yeah.
Like I met one girl who you know, had like a brain tumor and stuff, and she was recovering, and you know, she had tubes hooked up to her head and everything, and she had just the best attitude about it. And she, like, you know, was joking. She's like, yeah, it's like my unicorn horn, and it just tell me all the fun things that she was into and studying. And I was just blown away by their tenacity, and it's just something that's really humbling to do, and at the same time extremely motivating to see so many incredible kids and stuff, you know, be so strong in the face of something that a lot of us would consider really scary.
Yeah, I've gone to the hospitals as well, and it's just it blows you away. Um, Now, okay, so I just want to let everybody know if you want to get Ashley's look, because her look is very cool. It is so cool. Okay, so Peter Grimm hats is one of your endorsements. Um,
Yes.
Corral boots, I love your boots. I absolutely love your boots. Is another one, as well as Alvarez guitars. So I just wanted to get those three in there because they are your endorsements and they make you look amazing. I mean, you're beautiful as it is.
Well, thank
But
you.
to add the hats and the guitar and the boots, it just kind
Yeah,
of
no, I'm definitely so grateful to have them as part of, you know, like our team. And I always let people know, you know, I don't endorse things that I don't already use and believe in. So, you know, all of these companies, Peter Grimm, Alvarez, you know, Corral, I was already using their products before teaming up with them. And, you know, just teaming up with them just, you know, really sweetens the deal
yeah.
because then, you know, I'm able to do giveaways and stuff like that for my fans and all that fun stuff. So I've just been extremely grateful for their support, especially of this tour. You know, Peter Grimm gave me hats and stuff to give away while we were out this past spring. So just really wonderful companies and stuff to work with. So definitely would recommend anybody. They make stuff for guys and girls to go check them out and see what they have to offer.
Well, now I want to go to one of your shows so I can get a pair of boots. Okay.
Right, you
Yeah.
get the whole hookup,
I know,
right?
right? Yeah, that would be awesome. Ashley, like I said, you started when you're 13, you're 20, but you've packed a lot into those years, and you've played with like Diamond Rio, John Michael Montgomery, and you've played on stages that, like I said, other iconic musicians have played on. And you're so positive, and you've already talked about some of your positivity and how you keep going. So if you had any advice to give an artist out there that's either just starting or is already out there, what do you think you'd tell them?
So you know, always the first thing that I say to people when they are thinking about music as a career option, you know, moving beyond the hobbyist and stuff, that career, when you're really critically thinking about that, I always tell people dig down deep because this is something that you absolutely have to love 110%. Like when you think about living your life, like you shouldn't like be able to know what to do with yourself if music wasn't a part of the equation anymore. And like that's kind of how intense your love has to be of it if you want to be able to go and pursue a lifelong kind of career in it. And of course, you know, learn the business side of it if you're coming at it from a creative angle, and you know, just really work on honing your craft. It's a matter of just combining all the different factors. You know, don't neglect one over the other. You need to be strong in all of those categories in order to be successful, and if you really, you know, want to make strides with your career.
Wow, that is great advice. That is great advice. And yeah, you have to be passionate about it. It has to be like the number one dream of your life. And it goes for anything, anybody that has a passion. I know with me, having this show is my passion, and I get to meet amazing artists like you. So, I mean, it's a win-win for me. What two songs are we going to hear from you?
So I know today we are going to listen to actually the two singles that are off of this album. So we're going to listen to Simple Life, which is the newest one. And both of these, by the way, as well as a couple others off the album, are available for like download and stuff like that as well. For those who might not, want to buy the full album, you guys can download them at any of the big digital retailers and stuff. But we're going to be listening to Simple Life, which is just a really upbeat, really happy-go-lucky kind of song. It is what the title says. It's about, looking at life and just being like, man, I want to go back to good times where I didn't have to worry about things and it's just the world's a happy place, simpler times, that sort of thing. And then we're also going to listen to She's Gone, which was my first single off of this album. And oh, it is. If it is a country heartbreak song, like for sure, like you just
Yeah.
can't deny it. It's about love and it's about loss, which, like I said, any good country song is about.
Yes.
Very fiddle heavy and stuff. It'll pull at your heartstrings, and those are the two we're going to be listening to today.
And I'm gonna just say, She's Gone, I love. I absolutely love. It is just one of those classic country love songs, and you make it modern too, which is nice. But yeah. You guys have to listen to this song. You have to listen to both of them. And like I like Simple Life. I mean, it talks about, just sitting in the grass and the river running by, and we all would love to get back to that at least a couple times during the year, especially you because you're so busy. Now, like she said, you can purchase her music online. You can also go to her website, which is ashleywineland.com. I've already talked about it. It's going to be up on my website. You just click the link, go right there. If you purchase Simple Life, like she said, there's two jams that you get to hear that none of us are getting to hear. So that's a bonus in itself. So I want to say, Ashley, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I wish you nothing but the best. Anything new happens and you want to get a hold of me, or Kiki wants to get a hold of me and you want to come back on, you're always welcome. And I will help push your singles any which way I can as well. And I think you're an absolute delight. I loved talking to you. And like I said, I love watching you perform. And I urge everybody to go to your website because then you can see you performing as well as YouTube. I mean, just go and see. You're going to fall in love with her. And thank you so much for coming on my show, Ashley. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun to just sit down and chit chat with you, and I hope to do it again soon.
Awesome. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep checking my website because you just never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers.